First up then, Ines goes to Niberiu to meet with the priestess Sveti. Ines recaps the story so far. Her brother-in-law has gone missing, it's caused a political rift between the nations of Galdria and Lagona, Jerris is behind this, and she's the woman the Shrine Maiden gave power to, so it's her fault. Not sure this is the best way for Ines to get what she wants, mind. Sveti talks a lot of mysterious stuff about foreseeing and changing the future. Ines gets frustrated and asks for the Shrine Maiden's power in order to stop Jerris, so she can stop the immediate future of the galaxy being destroyed. Sveti's okay though, and says she'll give Ines power. And guess what? That involves everyone removing their clothes and bathing for a bit. It's all about being pure, isn't it? Turns out the clue in Ines' full name Veldorp is that she was a descendant of the chiefs from this valley, which is why she's capable of harnessing the power. A bracelet, I think, is enchanted to harness Ines' power, but Sveti tells her they don't know how that power will manifest itself. Should be fun finding out, right? Time out. To admire the sunset. I guess what this means is that the final act is approaching. Ines uses her newfound psi abilities, a clairvoyance, to try and locate where her brother is. She can't see him, but does get an image of Diablo and Dulzio, and right on cue, their defense star Barza turns up for war, and she's all but certain she'll find Clind there. Dulzio over the tally scanners threatens Ines, saying she should submit and have the honour of being his second wife, and then she'll get to see Clind again. The game gives you the option of surrendering or not surrendering at this point, but there's really only one way to go. The Girandol has no weapons, Ines is beaten, and the only way is to give herself up. After being taken on board the Barza, Diablo explains that this was never a defense star at all. Jerris says that the Dragon's Eye has been resurrected, and once the Galdria fleet move into range, that's it. Annihilation. Clind, Ines, Flicker and Gia are all taken to separate cells. After overcoming her depression, Ines uses her clairvoyance skills and she sees Jerris naked. She sees Flicker naked. She sees Gia's room and there's no one there, and a hole in the wall. Gia turns up through a hole in the wall to rescue Ines and explains he's worked out how to manifest his own powers, which are shock and levitation. It was shock that defeated Jerris all that time ago on Murik. Not sure how they helped Gia smash through walls, but together they decide to blend their powers of telepathy and clairvoyance to help them reach further. We check in on and find Flicker, and she's in an even more uncompromising situation, which I'm not quite sure what it is. But it means she has to run around naked for a bit, unfortunately. They find Maidi, the guard from Lagona, changing. She's really apologetic and they steal her clothes, so Flicker no longer needs to be naked. Clind and Ines are reunited. That was quite easy, wasn't it? But there's no time for hugs, they have to get off of Barza and save the galaxy. They make it to the hangar and Ines checks on the Girandol and notices that the Girandol 3 engine has been tampered with, the jump drive removed. They're trapped, and considering their options when, yep, the cat lady herself returns. She's everywhere. As an aside, we learn that Maidi has been executed for her crimes against Dulzio. Too bad. Clind tells Ines that the walls of Barza have used his meta-Chiritanium to become impenetrable. Also too bad. But there is a weakness. The Dragon Eye itself is vulnerable. But how are they going to attack it if the Galdrian fleet was already wiped out? Well, they can go back to Miwi and awaken their own defense systems. Flicker has managed to open up something called the Catapult Gate. I don't know what that is, but the result is if Ines combines her powers with Gia again, they may be able to teleport to Miwi. So after all that, Clind and Flicker will have to stay and make their own escape, if they can. But the Dragon Eye must be stopped. It was the weapon that originally destroyed Earth in a disastrous intergalactic war. Ines' time to shine has finally come. Ines and Gia successfully make it back to Miwi, meet a half-naked guard just because, who tells her to go to the core room and enter a really confusing password that I forgot to write down when I played this through because there are literally no other puzzles or things to remember in the game. Psh! Good job I was making a recording. Ines and Gia get stuck behind a locked door. We get a good look at Ines's ass, but fail to open it until the clockwork balls turn up saying that they can do it. The password is entered, Miwi is awakened, and we get a lovely little animated sequence of the dragon eye before Buzzer explodes, and Ines is distraught at the probable death of her brother and Flicker. With the loss of its monarch, Lagona is subsumed into Galdria, and this led to the reform of the Solar System Federation into a nation. The Galactic Federation thought it a bit shifty, and so for now Galdria remains independent. Ines spent some time searching for her brother, whom she hoped still alive. But one day, as she addresses her people, he waltzes into the throne room with Flicker. They'd gotten injured by the guards, but legged it into the Girandole, which they couldn't control, and ended up on Murok. Ines becomes Princess of Galdria and Clind Emperor of Lagona. There's a hint that they might be in love, but I guess that was for the sequel that sadly never happened, as well as the answers to other questions. Ines also mentioned as she destroyed Baza that dragons always have two eyes. Who has the other? In fact, it's in the name of the game, Dragon Eyes. And what was that future that interested Sveti so much? And here ends the great space opera Dragon Eyes, unfortunately.